So we're going to get started.
All right.
There we go.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Trying to get adjusted here.
There we go.
There we go.
Hello. Hello.
All right.
I'm Raven, the talk show maven. This is Khalid Glover.
What's up, y'all?
My husband, he worked with Prince. Uh-oh, we lost the sound.
No, it's just playback.
Okay. And we're actually in Khalik's studio here in West Hills, California.
Trying to adjust the
bear
thing
with us while
a little
we
bit.
adjust. Thank you.
What's up with you guys? You're going to have to move over this way a little bit, baby.
Okay.
Because you see Blab.
Uh-oh. I'll let you fix the seat. We're getting set up for a second. And something tells me I need to go get my glasses because I can't even say hi to anyone. Can you see?
No, it's okay.
Well, hello. I'm not going to be able to see the names. It's so small, but we welcome you for sure.
And you know what? Let me adjust the periscope angle here so that you guys can...
If we lose you, we'll set it back up. I'm going to get my glasses just in case while you do.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and talk.
Okay.
Because excuse me, guys. We're going to try to get this going here.
Are you on Facebook Live, babe?
Hmm?
Are you going on Facebook Live?
We are live on Facebook. Okay. And, okay, guys, I'm just trying to get everything going. If you can hear me, Durham in Blab, do me a favor and type yes or a Y in there so that I know that it's on. And I want to be sure that you guys can actually hear me. Today I want to talk a little bit about, as you know, well, hold on, let me start this. Okay, I want to say what's up to everybody. I'm simulcasting here, so Blab is over there, and we got Facebook over here, and we got Periscope, and we're just trying to talk to everybody. Today, I just wanted to give my little take on my time working with the music icon and legend Prince, and my wife is going to interview me about that.
Hi.
Okay, so...
Been a hectic day. Hello, everyone.
We woke up to a huge, devastating
Phone ringing off the hook. Yeah.
And just wanted to say a few things, you know, kind of in tribute to a very, very important, life-changing, and inspiring time in my life, you know. So Raven's going to be asking me a few questions about that. It was a great time and everything. You know, we're just kind of going off the cuff here because we just found out about this. So I thought it'd be appropriate to let people know maybe a few things that they did know about this genius that we have in our lifetime. I've been lucky enough to work with two of them, well, many more.
Michael Jackson too.
Yeah, but we lost Michael, and I had a chance to work with Michael Jackson. Had a chance to work with Prince, and those were my two biggest icons that when I was growing up and playing as a musician, those were my two biggest ones. So my dreams came true. So hey,
ready?
honey.
Okay.
And we got people here. Your Periscope thing.
It went out? Oh my God.
It went out, so you may have to log back in.
Oh yeah, my battery shot, so Periscope's not going to see it.
Okay.
All right, so hello everyone. I'm Raven, the talk show maven. This is Khaliki, my baby Khalik of Vision. So Mr. and Mrs. Glover here, and of course Khalik, as he was sharing with you, he had the opportunity to help build the Paisley studio too as well? Or?
Yeah. Me, my partner Dave Hampton, Ian Boxall, Lisa Chamblay, and a lot of other people got a chance to work for Prince and work right in his Paisley Park studios for a couple of years. You know, we actually had a nice run there. We were his go-to people that worked with him right there at the studio. We practically lived there in Minneapolis, and we really had a wonderful time. We learned a lot. We fixed a lot, and right now I want to give a shout out to my boy Dave Hampton too, because Dave
and Lisa.
Dave was the one who you know, quarterbacked the whole thing to bring Paisley Park Studios. Those of you that may not know, Paisley Park Studios was Prince's personal studio. It's a huge facility. You've probably seen it all on the news and everything. And Paisley Park was amazing. It was just huge
I know.
soundstage.
I wanted to
And
show it. I was trying to pull it up here.
yeah, and you know, several studios all through there. And when we went there, it had a lot of different problems that he wanted to get addressed and fixed. And so Dave is a studio builder and a technician, so Dave assembled a team, and I was lucky enough to be on that team. And we went there and worked on the studio, got it functioning really good back to prime recording level. Also, just the design of the place, the different furnishings. You guys have seen Prince's furnishings. He likes
I
very
love those
fancy
chairs.
things
He
and all that.
likes, yeah.
Colors, things like that. And we got everything going. And my hat is off to Dave, but Dave assembled the team, and I was lucky enough to be a part of it. He called people that he trusted, who he knew could get the job done. And
Well, let me ask the question. See, he's taking it away.
Okay, well, go ahead.
But anyway, what I want to talk to Khalik about is a little bit about Prince, the behind the scenes Prince, because I've heard you share a few things, and a little bit about Prince's personality. Just listening to some of the news, I heard some surprising things about him. Like, I forget who the guy was. I don't know if you guys heard this on CNN, but I heard that Prince wouldn't call you for birthdays and holidays, and I think part of that may be because he was Jehovah's Witness. But the guy, he was in tears talking about how Prince, if he knew you were going through a tough time, that was when he called you. And that was kind of surprising to hear that. You have any thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, here's something that, and I'll share a few minor stories and everything. I want to respect our privacy that we had to. He was very big on that. He trusted us on a lot of things.
Says, yeah.
But one of the things that a lot of people just don't know is he was very, very generous. He was very, very caring. You know, so along with being a genius, he had a lot of other facets to him. You know, and I'm not a bit surprised. Luckily, I've never gotten a call like that because I haven't had any kind of emergency like that. And us being able to work with him and get things done, we got it all done to his satisfaction. Or if it wasn't to his satisfaction, he'd tell us what we have to change and adjust, and then we get it done. And then he was one of those type of people where, you know, he's so inward in a lot of his things. He's not very outwardly demonstrative as far as when you're doing a good job and things like that. You can't be expecting him to, you know, just acknowledge every little thing you do. Right. He'll let you know in little subtle ways that, okay, good job, you're doing good, you know. And if he didn't like something, you also know that too. But the main thing is he appreciated, you know, like me, when I first got in there, because I can only speak from my point of view, I know there's a lot of people that came in there thinking with preconceived notions, you know. So one of the first things that we were told when we went in there is, you know, don't talk to him, don't look him in the eye, don't shake his hands, don't do all these kind of things. And, you know, when I went there and we were working in the studio and he was out on the road, so he wasn't in the studio. But then he came back in town one day and he was walking through his own building, and one of the things that struck me, you know, because this was at a time when a lot of employees he had there at the studio, but what struck me was that nobody was really talking or interacting with him. You know, he'd come through, and, you know, before he got there, you know, he's coming, so everybody was kind of in a little bit of panic mode. And I thought that was a little bit ridiculous and strange, you know, because I was like, it can't be that bad, you know. And so me and my boy Dave and all of us, we were just ourselves. We were just our normal selves and everything. You know, one day he was walking down the hall, you know, and, you know, it was dead silent. I just yelled way down the hall, "What's up, dog?" And he kept walking, and he kind of caught him off guard because nobody had been talking to him. So he went ahead and, you know, hey, well, who's this guy? What's his story and everything? You know, it could have got me fired, but I just felt that, you know, hey, if I can't be you know, who I am. You know, it was in a joking, playful way. Yeah. And you know, I found out later on that, you know, he started trying to just check all of us out, but, you know, he checked me out from the point of view, just kind of seeing what I was about. He would request me to come in on some things or give me some tasks to do and things like that, and then see how I'd respond and everything, you know. sometimes if we didn't get something right, we may have to pay a price for it or whatever. And I've had the whole gamut. But see, the thing is that I don't have any kind of these were all good memories for me because they made me better. You know, it's like okay, go back and do it better. Or do it differently and everything, and when you did and everything, and he saw that you didn't freak out, you didn't start getting all sour and testy. You just wanted to do a good job for your client. He appreciates and respects that, you know. So me, Dave Hampton, Ian Boxall, Lisa, and a whole host of others that came up in there and worked with him. I think we got mad respect from him, and it even continued because he continued to call us even when he moved. And did parties in L.A. You know, we went and were at his 3121 mansion, which you know he has an album named after that. So we used to always be up in there. Dave went and had a studio portable system set up for him that could go anywhere.
We had the soundproof, stuff like that.
We had to set up the rehearsal room and things like that. You know, I got called in there to do some things, helping do some recording. You know, I even got called in to do recording with him in the Beverly Hills Hotel. He had a suite, and he had a whole separate place that was set up as a recording studio. And, you know, it was my job. I was just parked in there and just doing stuff and everything. So great memories on stuff like that.
You know, those are great memories, and I know that your ex-wife Portia, did she sing with them or something as well?
Oh yeah.
Tell us about that. Hey Portia, I know this is really touching you. I've seen your post. Yeah.
Well, you know, we got invited to some parties and things like that. You know, so it's funny when I hear like Dave Chappelle talking about, you know, when he joked about Prince saying Prince cook, you know, having pancakes and things like that. You know, well, I was part of that too, so I got a chance to see that. You know, when you're hanging out all night long and he'll have a chef there or chefs or whatever, and then you know, does up a big meal breakfast for everybody. You know, everybody has hung all night long and then have that. That was pretty amazing to me. You know, and you know, I was just so happy to be there. But Portia got a chance to actually sing with, you know, he would always do little shows at his house. He'd have the bands come in and set up, you know, and had some of the legends. So one of the times we went there, Maceo and his band was there and everything. So Maceo was playing and jamming and you know, and Portia got a chance to sing and sit in with him and everything, and he was checking it out, and she was killing it, and so, you know, he and everybody enjoyed that because, you know, anybody that's heard her sing knows she's a powerhouse, and so it was really cool to go through that. My daughter Tamika actually got a chance to go there and meet him, and I forgot because Portia reminded me, she's like Jamie Foxx was there, and I think she said he kissed her on the cheek or something like that. And you know, Dave Chappelle and a lot of other different people there. I remember when I was there and I met you know, like Paris Hilton and Alicia Keys, and you know
you worked with Sheila E. too.
Yeah,
and she's of course part of
Sheila,
part of that.
Beautiful, wonderful person, and got a chance to experience and meet a lot of the icons and legends that I grew up with, and I was very happy to be part of that and intermingle with them. The good thing is seeing people like that kind of let loose and everything. That's what's
and be
really
themselves.
cool.
And there's a lot of lessons that you learn along the way, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. But what I would like to know for all of you that are tuning in, you know, from the different areas that we are broadcasting from, but especially, are we on Blab right now?
We're on Blab right over there.
Hey Blab! Oh my God! And I'm just turning my head. Hey Blab! Smooches didn't even know. We were on Periscope, but we're definitely on Facebook Live. And but I would like to know from all of you if you want to go ahead and text in your favorite song of Prince. I don't know if you have anything queued up or not, but what was your favorite song of Prince? I know for me, I think it was called When the Doves Cry.
When Doves Cry.
When Doves Cry, and of course, Purple Rain. What was yours? What was your favorite one? What was your
Type
favorite
in your favorite songs in the comment box or anything. You know, do it on Blab over there and do it on Facebook, and let us know what you may, what are your favorite songs and everything. I want to kind of see, let's get a good list. We know it's going to be a lot of the classics, but I got another thing for you two guys. You know, like, now I have to admit that I'm a huge fan from back in the day, but he's so prolific, I don't even know a lot of the
The
newer
new
stuff.
songs,
He
yeah.
just released a new album, and I heard it's excellent, but, you know, I've only heard bits and pieces, so I'm not that familiar. So if you hear some stuff of his newer things, too, go ahead and let us know what some of your favorites are so I can go say, Khalik, you got to check that out and everything.
Yeah.
We're going to be listening to a lot of his music, both classic and both new. And I got to tell you guys, he had a vault that was down in the bottom of Paisley Park. In the basement of Paisley Park that was huge and filled floor to ceiling with reel-to-reel 24-track tapes, 2-track tapes, all kinds of stuff. And, you know, once we got there and we got into the hard drive days and everything, I can't even imagine how much stuff he has now since the last time I was there, because he's always creating everything. And he had such control over it, so he could keep it all in the vault and everything really cool and locked up. So that I'm curious to see what's going to happen in the future as far as so much unreleased Prince music that we're going to have and be blessed with. And let me tell you something else too, because the bottom line is even his unfinished work is at such a high quality that it's all going to be like it's finished.
Yeah.
Because he's such an excellent instrumentalist and vocalist and everything. All we used to do is simply, when we knew he wanted to record, we just set up everything basically, and then we'd leave. Because, you know, he does it all in the room. You know, you get, okay, he said thank you, and then we wait until, you know, we might set him up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get started. And then once he's set up to do all his parts, you know, guitars, vocals, and all that, we have everything all set up and ready to go. We leave, and then we might not get a call to come back in until like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning or whatever.
Wow.
Everybody's sitting there like half falling out and everything. But what a great experience, because like I said, it pushes you to the limits, and he never asked us or anybody, I believe, you know, I wasn't there during his heyday of the, you know, the Purple Rains and when Doves Cry and all that.
Then.
No, I was there after that.
Oh,
I'm saying
okay.
the Purple Rains and all that was his biggest heyday back in the 80s. I didn't work with him then until early 2000s, and but he was still great. But back then, you know, he was a lot younger, and I can't even imagine trying to keep up with him, because it's like, it was amazing just to see. He'd go out and do a concert. After the concert, he'd do an after show, and then he might come into the studio and say, I'm ready to record. You know, like I said, that might not start till 4 or 5 in the morning.
Well, they found him in the elevator, so he had been working, though. So,
yeah,
I
the
mean,
elevator is
that's
what
just...
goes up and down from the basement to the up to the studio, but the basement is where the vault was and all that. He probably was coming in from somewhere, and I don't know if he was heading up or getting ready to head out. That's, you know.
Can you see if anyone, I'm sorry guys, I can't see, can you see if anyone typed in a song that we had asked them, what's your favorite song? I'm Raven, a talk show Maven. I'm here with my husband,
I Want to Be Your Lover. That was one of my favorites.
I forgot about that one, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of his first
So
ones.
just go ahead and put in the chat
Beautiful
box.
Ones, right?
Beautiful Ones, yeah. Yeah. What about Let's Go Crazy? Remember that one? Anybody like that one?
Yeah, all his classics, you can just pick or choose anyone. He has so many. Okay, one thing I want to say, honey, is it's about just to think about the legacy. You know, somebody,
What a legacy.
you know, him and Michael and all that. If you're going to walk this way, you know, the thing is that as we all get older and everything, it's important to think, because I don't think it's ever too late, but it's important to think about what kind of legacy you're leaving behind. When people think about you, what you did and everything, so many people just go through life and maybe not think about trying to affect somebody or help somebody or leave something behind.
That's so true, so true. That's why it's important. Don't wait to be great, do it now. One thing about Prince, he left doing what he loved.
Yeah.
He was in that studio, and his commitment to show up where he was expected to be, even though he wasn't feeling well. You know, he was committed to his fans.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think he had something with 200. I think I heard that he invited 200 people for a special concert or something like that.
What he used to do, and I haven't been in a while, but at Paisley Park, they had, in the days when I was there, he had a music club and everything. But this room, we used to always have to prep that, because when he decided to give parties or whatever for the people in Minneapolis, you know, I mean, they'd line up and get these tickets, and he'd get free concerts and things like that. So yeah, it was probably right in the back, just on the other side, or how to get the best.
Back up.
Yeah, we're back up on Facebook Live. We lost the signal for a second. Morris Hayes is my boy. He's really one of the most big-hearted people that you ever know. So Prince actually really loved this guy and relied on him. Prince definitely made Morris the anchor, and he trusted
He
him.
trusted him. Yeah.
Trusted him to be the musical director and the guide for a lot of things that occurred, not just on the road, but even when we were at the studio. So he helped us through our time at Paisley Park by dropping wisdom on us on things that how give us insights onto how he may think about different things, or guidance to guarantee a win. So I talked with Morris via text. Of course, he's really kind of shook up by this as well. And Morris, we're probably going to hook up and maybe do something in the future. That's what I'd like to do, is all of us to get together at some point, and just try to hook up. Larry Graham is a big influence. Larry Graham is a big influence on me, and I worked with Larry for years, and we met Prince when we were out on the road. We were touring with Sinbad, opening up for Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Prince invited us all to. He was in the same thing, and invited us all to come and hang out with him. And then Larry ended up, hanging out with Prince and basically becoming like a surrogate father to Prince over the years. They just clicked and got along. Larry is such a wise person, such a great spirit, and just cool. Larry and his whole family or whatever. And that's he turned Prince on to what was going on with becoming a Jehovah's Witness. Got him to studying, and and then that changed him and changed his life. So anybody that wonders if that was real or whatever, anybody that wonders that was real can know that he is he was so serious about that, about learning. He was into just really getting it. He was not playing. He was not trying to do some surface things. I had, my mother and my sister are both Jehovah's Witnesses. My mother's passed, but and then I did a little studying on that thing.
I did too. I studied Jehovah's
Witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
So but Larry and Prince and my sister and people like that were so deep. And they didn't play. I studied and got on it, but I was doing other things. So I'm not going to front and act like but I got in and studied, and I enjoyed the studying with it. Got a chance to every now and then go to a Bible study or hang out with him. At the time he was married to Manuela, so we all had a chance to just kind of go over some things and just dig into it. But it was very real. And the more that he got into it, the more well-versed he got. He tried to live the right way all the time and become a better person with the things he was learning. We're all always a constant work in progress. But, I got to respect somebody that goes through that. It was the same thing. I remember when my sister first got into it, you're doing a lot of searching, and then that clicked with her, and she found something that really resonated for her. So I'm so proud of her because she dug deep and got into it, and now, she's been doing it, I can't even think how many decades now. Yeah. It's very serious about what it is. So, you can only respect and have hats off for people.
Especially, when they take it serious like that. You mentioned the word lessons, and I know there were some lessons that you learned from working with Prince, because I've heard many lessons that you learned from working with Michael. So what do you feel was some of your biggest lessons, and do you feel like any of that helped you in your growth and work ethics?
Well, that was probably the biggest thing. I always thought I had a pretty good work ethic, and I did and do anyway, but his work ethic is on a whole nother level. But the greatest are, because Michael was the same way too, even though and I'm not going to try to act like, I'm besties with these guys or anything like that. They all had hundreds of people that worked with him and everything. But a lot of people came and a lot of people went. And, only, when you get into that type of orbit, you have to have the type of spirit and work ethic in you that you just want to get done what they need done, and do what it takes to make it. And they like seeing it if you're willing, if you're not, being sour about it, if you're not tripping and all that. For me, the biggest part and biggest lesson I got is that anytime he tasked me with something, it became a challenge, because it makes you better, makes you dig deep, when you stop. And the funny thing is, the greats did that, because even in politics, there was a story about Secretary of State Henry Kissinger having an assistant that he had the assistant, I can't remember the exact story, but basically the assistant was putting something together for him and kept writing something out, and he kept getting a note back saying, is that the best you can do? What is this? Is this the best you can do? And like, he couldn't figure it out, and so he kept getting it sent back, and everything. And so the guy kept improving it and sending it back. And then finally, when they met, the assistant threw his hands up and said, "Listen, I don't know what you want. I can't do no better than this. I tried everything. I don't know what you want. Why do you keep trying?" He said, "Oh, this is the best you can do. Really, this is the best you can do." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay, I guess I'll read it then." So, I mean, huge lesson, and that was kind of the same thing, when you get somebody like that, they push you to really bring the best and not stop short, and that's the biggest lesson that I could learn. And this is why, I'm a little crazy. You might understand my personality now. I'll go with that, because to me it's the good.
You got
kind
crazy
of
work hours like Prince, boy, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, it's when you love what you do and when you're passionate about what you do. Here's the thing: he passed. But he passed where he wanted to be in doing what he loved doing.
Doing what he loved. Not saying, of course, he didn't want to, nobody wants to leave, but he left doing what he loved. And before we got cut off on Facebook, you were kind of talking about, how important it is to leave a legacy, and we got to stop and think about the legacy we're leaving. But, why we're here. Are you really doing what you love? Time out for doing stuff because maybe you're skilled, or doing stuff because somebody told you to. It's time to really, I love what my friend Cinnamon says, get more life out of living and more living out of life, and really be committed to what you want to do. Be free to be you, and don't wait to be great. Do it now.
Yeah, do it now. Whatever it is.
Do it
Don't
now.
wait.
You never know. We only promise the moment we're in. And it breaks my heart and all of our hearts. We're saddened that Prince is gone. But he at least left doing what he loved. He was in his studio, and then I guess going to the elevator and stuff. You talked about your lessons, and I know you learned a lot. What was the biggest challenge, if you could talk about it just a moment?
Well, I mean, with him, the biggest challenge with everything is just being sure that I challenge myself, So,
you hear that? He challenged himself.
Yeah.
So you weren't afraid to stretch.
No. I mean, really, and it was so funny because when I was working on some things, sometimes I'd work on it so much and dig into it, he'd actually have to make me stop.
Get too much in your head.
No, I'm not in. I'm just saying that I keep going after trying to improve it and get it and perfect it and everything. Yeah. And he got to a point where he was good. It's like, no, okay, that's cool, and most of the time, a lot of times he deals with people that don't necessarily want to take it to that level or whatever, and we saw people come and go because you can't fast track with people like that. I think when Michael Jackson passed and I had John Barnes on here and everything, me and John were talking about the exact same mindset. John Barnes used to do all of Michael's stuff behind the scenes, getting the synth parts and building things up, and John many times would have to do maybe hundreds of variations of what he was working on. And let me tell you, this guy's a virtuoso, and it wasn't about that. It was about try and stretch everything. Go for days, maybe weeks, maybe even months trying something. And many times, he told me we go back to the first, second, third, fourth thing that we tried. Many times that happened, but it was about going in and pushing yourself and stretching to see if you could find something better. Just you got to look for it. If you don't look for it, even if you feel in your heart that this is great, what I got here, it's about going on that journey and actually looking for it and then you can come back, you know, and see. Bruce Swedien said the same thing about when they did a lot of mixes and then for a Thriller and stuff like that. They tried a lot of different things, but many times they ended up going back to some of the earlier things because a lot of times your intuition will put you in the right place, you know. So Prince was the same way as far as you know, just making us dig in and not try. You know, I used to do, you know, he writes all the time, was prolific, so many times I'd have to do rough mixes for him or things like that, and then deliver it to the house after I was done and everything. Like I said, a couple times he had to make me stop because I was just trying to do the greatest rough mix ever and everything, and it was like, well, it ain't even about all that, you know. And the bottom line is, until it's the final thing, you know, getting something that he's going to like is going to be a challenge for anybody. I don't care who you are. He's had the very best people in the world work with him, so it's not about, you know, your experience or whatever's going on the journey to find the excellence that's in there, you know. So
Finding the excellence
Yeah.
that's in there. You know, just real quick, just for the people that are tuning in on Blab or Periscope, and they're not quite sure because they keep hearing you say mix, exactly what you did, what is mixing. Can you kind of talk about that just a little bit,
well,
as far as what you did?
when making records, there's mixing and recording, and you know, and then the tech side and everything. So when I went to Paisley Park, when me and Dave and our whole crew went there, we all had different roles. So the first part of it was technical to get things working and everything. So, you know, I've got a little technical mind too. So even though I may be an engineer that makes the records as far as making the sound, I knew enough to get in behind the scenes as well and help Dave think differently, maybe on some ideas that would get us closer to having the technical side right, so that when he comes in to record, everything will be good. The other side is the recording, so many times, you know, I might be a part of that, you know, not always, but, you know, we all play different roles,
parts, different roles, yeah.
And then, so the recording, everybody probably knows with that, you know, he comes in with his guitar, bass, keyboard, or whatever, and, you know, he wants to lay it down on tape or put it into, you know, the computer nowadays and everything. Other than that, then the final part is mixing, which means combining all the stuff that he already recorded and everything. So a lot of times when he's doing some, you know, putting some rough ideas together or whatever, you still have to kind of try to make it sound like a record. So that's the mixing part. So we do what is called a rough mix, you know. And
okay.
the rough mix, that's different than the final mix. The rough mix is just a rough idea to make it kind of sound good, so that later on when he comes back, he can approach making it better to be the final thing that we end up hearing on the radio or on TV or, you know, in broadcast or whatever medium it is. That's the final stage, you know. I was more towards helping him record and do rough mixes because after we got out here to LA and we were doing some things, you know, he had me doing some stuff and all that. But I must admit, at a certain point, you know, because I still had my family and everything, you know, sometimes you
Yeah.
sacrifice losing your time with your family. You don't get to see your kids and all that. And that's very important to me as well, too. So, you know, even though I may have, he may have requested me because he did like my spirit and everything, that I would go in.
And your work ethic.
And my work ethic. So, you know, he's like, well, I want Khalik, you know, his assistant at the time, a guy named Takumi. I used to try to, I said, well, you know, I don't know, man. I don't think I should. He said, no, he wants you, you know, and.
Well, that's big. Let's not just skate by that. That is huge for
Well,
someone on his level to say that.
Well, I felt good
Yeah.
about that he did want me, but at the same time, like I said, you know, you start missing certain other things,
Yeah.
and then you have
You
to
got
make
priorities
you got to make
too.
a choice. You know, I'd probably be a lot farther along because even when I was working at Lionshare Studios, and a lot of big artists were coming through, the people that didn't have families didn't mind staying there and working on the gigs forever, all day long, all night long, weeks and months and end. Me, it's very important for me to see my daughter,
Your daughter,
grow up and be
Tamika.
able to do it, and
Hey,
my
Tamika.
and my wife at the time and everything.
Portia.
So we, you know, I'm a family man. You know that. I like, you know.
He is a family man. This was way before my time, guys,
Yeah.
but he has a beautiful wife named Portia. What's Portia's last name?
Griffin.
Griffin. So you guys follow Portia. Hey, Portia, and his beautiful daughter, Tamika, and it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what was and still is important to me. So like now our family, you know, I could be in the studio, you know. I mean, it's not. I still
Oh,
get,
no, yeah.
but I have a my own little home set up here, and we try to do things as much so we can stay here and be together and work together, as opposed to me going into the studio. Because like the last big studio thing that I did, it really took a lot of time. Was when I was working with my boy Teddy Riley. But we were in the studio. We lived in the studio. I literally came home and got a bag full of clothes and everything, and some toiletries, and then
That was
back to
it.
the studio.
Yeah.
And we stayed in there 24/7. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, wake up.
Was that after the Michael
Yeah,
passed
yeah.
away when you worked on the This Is It?
Yeah,
Or
and
one of
stuff.
those.
Yeah, right. That the whole project after he passed. But I'm at a different stage of my life now, so it's like I said, it's important for me to experience some of the other things. I love music, I always will. I love the studio and all that, but it's important to make sure I have balance in some other things as well too. So at least I can be up here, but not far away.
Yeah.
As
I
opposed
can
to
just holler up, baby, come on down.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's very important to me.
Thank you, baby. I'm glad it's important to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to hear a Prince song. Can you play something?
Well, I don't have anything
have
queued
anything
up
to-
right now. I just
okay.
wanted to talk to you guys and kind of let you get
I'm going to
into
go
my
downstairs
head.
and play some Prince.
And
for
we'll come
sure.
back on. I'm going to be doing
Yeah.
some other things too because, like I said, I talked to some of my friends that when we went through a lot of great times with him. We're going to get together
See if I can
and do
pull
some
something
type
up
of
on here real quick.
some type of tribute or whatever for him.
Right.
And us sharing our memories from different points of view. I definitely want to get my boy Morris on because Morris,
And Sinbad, too.
yeah, I mean just
Different ones.
Yeah, different ones. Like Larry Graham, I don't think I'll be able to get him on because Larry's really pretty broke up about this. Prince was like Larry was a surrogate father and Prince was his son, basically. And so it's a huge loss. It's a huge loss for anybody to go through.
We're not making light of this at all because we know, I was just a fan. I remember when I went to see Prince. The first time I went to see Prince, I was young. I think I was like in my 30s. Not too, well, no, I guess probably late 20s. And he had a tub on the stage. And he was, I think, it was wild to me at that time. What was that song? Do you remember the song he used to do on the stage all the time with the tub?
I
I
can't
can't remember it,
Yeah,
but it was
yeah.
so sexy, and it was so good. Somebody, if you remember the song, type it in the notes. Another song I used to like of his was
Otis
the Little Red Corvette. I used to love that song as well.
Evans.
You got to see a lot of your boys here.
Yep.
Yeah. But we're going to come back. Khalik's going to be doing some blabs, so make sure you pay attention to that.
Found my little thingy here.
Oh, yeah.
I still got this going on. It's going to be a great little memory and keepsake for me to.
Is there a story behind that or anything? You wanna
No.
share? Okay.
Just some things.
Yeah.
I
You
got
some
my
other stuff?
just little stuff that when I started looking through, and it's like, I know I got some little Prince memorabilia here. I can't find it now, but he gave me some guitar picks and everything because I used to play guitar.
Oh, you still have that? Good.
He
Cool.
played for me. I thought I had it right here. He played guitar for me one day in the studio. It was just me and him in the studio. And he grabbed his guitar and just started kind of freestyling some stuff, and I was in there working, but I could tell he was just kind of, so I was trying to act like I'm still working, but I'm like hearing him do all this amazing stuff, and then finally I just stopped and just watched him with my jaw dropping and everything, and then he just smiled and like, yeah, okay, I know I missed you. It was so cool. Little memories like that were cool. We're just kind of hanging out. It was just me and him in the studio. We weren't really doing anything.
He was very
deep,
private too.
Yeah, but he just started playing and jamming the guitar, and I was just like, oh man, and I couldn't believe what he was doing, and it was so
Did he
funny.
ever hear you play?
Yeah, he did actually. But I can't play anymore. So when I was playing at the time, he stopped. I think he could tell that I used to be able to play a little bit because he could. I had a little good rhythm and but I was fumbling around and making a few mistakes. He don't like that. So after a while, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop. Let me stop because if you're gonna play, you better be able to play with him and you better be able to serve it. But we used to talk about music, and I just tell him, I gave that side up to do this other side and everything, and you know, so he found out what was going on with your spirit and everything, you know. So he liked it. I think he liked it. Him and Dave Hampton. Dave, like I said, I'll get Dave on here too. We're going to talk about him because he really loved Dave Hampton. He was doing a concert in Minneapolis, and we were there, and he actually shouted Dave Hampton's name out from the stage, you know, because
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Dave.
big, you know, got it on, you know, got it recorded and everything, so it's part of the performance. That's huge.
Well,
I was so
Dave
proud.
has huge work ethics too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got to, like I said, to work at that level, you have to have huge
He's in
work ethic. You
demand.
can't be,
Dave is in demand.
yeah. So that's why people know, because they want to know they can rely on you. They want to know that they can leave and go out of town, and when they come back, what they want is done. Well, they can know that they can get you on the phone and call you at any time and just do your thing. So
Yeah, you gotta get Lisa on too. Right?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
Lisa's last name?
Chambly.
Chamberlain. Hey, Lisa.
Yeah. So we're gonna be doing some more things to just honor him. You know, we had a great time working with him. You know, we were just you know, a handful of people of many along, you know, because of his long decades career and everything. Pretty much almost everybody in the music industry has worked with him at one point or another. But I feel very proud that out of all the people and everything that, you know, he didn't end, when we left, he didn't end up having a problem with any of us, you know. He ended up being cool with everybody. You know, he always moves on, tries different people, so you have your time with him and then he moves on and everything. But when we would see him or, you know, pop in, you know, me and Dave, or Dave would get calls out of the blue every now and then for some advice and things like that, or it's good to know when you go into a situation that big and then you come out of it and you know that you did good because you're still cool, you know, no problems, and, you know, keep that person away. They are totally banned from my life. And none of us
None of
left
that,
on
yeah.
that type of term.
Yeah. Did you ever connect with him in any way afterwards? Being at a concert, seeing him. Or
Well,
being
you know,
in someone,
you don't interact with Prince
Yeah.
that way. You know,
Okay.
that's you know, there's a few people that do, but most of the time, see, here's the thing that a lot of people don't know too. The support people behind the scenes, like engineers and people like us. He has a love-hate relationship with needing us on that level because he can do anything. So he knew how to engineer and stuff like that too. He did a lot of his recording and everything. One of my mentors, a guy named Tommy Vicari, did his first album, you know, and was named on, if you go look on the very first album, he's listed on there as co-producer and all that. But basically, Tommy will tell you himself, he's like, I didn't really have to do anything because all the stuff was done and recorded. You know, he did a few little things and guided him through there. But, you know, Prince is so, he's so good at just handling everything. You know, if he didn't need to have any of us, I think he wouldn't have had any of us there. But you know, he used to joke with us that, you know, but nobody does it alone, so
Right.
he had to rely on us and trust us to do some of the things, even if he could do it. You know, that kind of takes me back because Prince is a Gemini too, so it's kind of like me. I know sometimes it's hard for me to let other people do things because you want to do it, and you want to do it all, but
Yeah, it
sometimes
is
you just got
hard.
to let it up, let it go, you know. So
And accept that help and receive that help, and a lot of us are like that. You know, we don't aren't comfortable asking for it, and then a lot of us just aren't comfortable with receiving help. You know,
Yeah,
and we can't do it alone. And he knew, you know, he could take it so far, and he could probably do everything himself, but it's nothing better than having a team. You guys were a team.
well, you know, one of the things too, like the guy you asked me earlier, and a lot of people said that too. We see it on the news, and you'll start hearing little things about his spirit because everybody hears about how aloof he was and standoffish and everything. And really, when you get to see him in the relaxed atmosphere, once he gets comfortable with you, you know, he'll start cracking jokes. He'll do all kinds of things. If you start talking sports and basketball and stuff like that, he'll really give you things. Start talking music. So I got a chance to experience a little bit of that. You know, Morris will be the guy that'll really be able to tell you. So when I get Morris on here, Morris will really,
can't
he's got
wait
such great,
to hear
he used to
this
have
word. Oh
our
my
jaws
God.
dropping on things like that. And, you know, he's a funny guy. He could really surprise you. Very talented in his range of knowledge on stuff. He, you know, by him being a Gemini, he had a thirst for knowledge. So he knew a whole lot of stuff that you would never imagine that a guy like that would know and be into. into. So it's very interesting, a very, very deep personality. But also with him, you know, people would think he's aloof and standoffish, but he really is a very caring person. So he was doing little things behind the scenes, helping people that you may not know about, dealing with certain things and all that. And one thing that I think, you know, I like to feel good about is like when we were at a Paisley one day, he used to always take everybody out, and he'd rent out a theater. You know, he just
Really?
rent out a whole theater and take us all to see a movie that he wanted to see. You know, 'cause he loved movies and everything. So there was this movie in Chanhassen we used to go see, and he'd rent out the whole theater and everything. But you know, one of the things that me and Dave used to always do is like, you know, this guy's always doing stuff, so we would try to think of ways we could do things for him too, you know, or at least offer, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, he and I would offer to pay for something here and there.
Oh,
or
that
whatever.
was cool.
You know, because
That
I
was
mean,
real cool.
just because these guys are rich and everything and can pay for everything, you know, they know a lot of times people are always got their hand out and always want them, expect them to pay.
Yeah.
And you
It
know,
doesn't have to be a big thing,
No.
but you guys offered to get lunch or something.
Yeah, you just buy
that shows
that, you know.
appreciation. Yeah.
I used to love. He used to love pumpkin pie. So I'd make sure when we go to there's this one restaurant, and you know, because I love pumpkin pie too, as you know.
Yeah.
So
I'm a
I
sweet
got
potato
it,
girl.
and it tasted really good and everything. So I bought him a whole pie one day and just came and surprised him and
That was
dropped it
nice.
off. You
And
know?
that didn't cost a whole lot of money, but it probably meant a lot. You know, just saying, okay, this is. There was a connection with that. You know, a lot of times we think it takes something big, and because they're big and they have a big presence and they're millionaires, or you know, we think, okay, if I give them this little, it's not going to mean anything, but it actually means more than we think. Huh?
Well, it goes to your personality, because this is how the core people that were there. Me, I'm like this. Dave is like this. You know, Morris. I mean, everybody is like this. Where you almost feel bad even though these guys will pay for everything a lot of times. You know, and go through. You almost feel bad always being on the receiving end. So I like to
And
at
not
least
giving,
balance out,
yeah.
you know, because
Well,
I
you
like that,
give
because
her
that's
too.
truly my spirit, you know, that truly is like,
It
you know, you should, I mean, I used to do that with Jeffrey Osborne. Jeffrey would take us out and buy everybody everything, and so I would notice the pattern of everybody just kind of sitting back and waiting for Jeffrey to pay for it just because he's the star and everything. But every now and then, you know, I mean, I didn't have much, but if I could pay and just help it, just to show that, hey man, I appreciate you, I
Yeah.
appreciate you doing this, let me get that for, you know, I think that's a good spirit to
It
have.
is a good spirit to
It means
have.
a lot to people.
Absolutely. I know starting out, when I was learning, you know, and asking for interviews and kind of just learning the field, I would, even though people were, you know, really high, making a lot of money, way more than I was, because I was barely making a check back then, I would ask for their assistance and their help, but I would invite them to what I used to call a virtual lunch. And I would pay for their lunch,
Yeah.
you know, as a way like to let them know that I don't want to just get,
Yeah.
I want to receive. And they were always in awe on that. Or I would say, I'm your media gal. If you ever need commercials aired or anything, just send it to me and tell me how long you want to air it, and I'll even have my engineer produce it. And I would just give, and they would tell me all the time, wow, no radio host has ever said that before.
Yeah.
So it's the small things, guys.
And that's really your spirit. You're genuine
Yeah, I
with
am.
that to try to do that. So that makes a big deal. So it's, you know, it's not pandering and trying to suck up to anybody. That's truly
It's
our
truly what you
spirit,
are.
and people can tell the difference
When it's
you know.
real. They can tell when it's real,
Because
for
we've
sure.
seen a lot of people come and go who had that other thing too, and think if I just do, you know, but it was always
A
real.
favor
with us,
for a favor.
you
That's
know.
not what we're
No
talking
agenda
about.
on what we're doing. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoyed just the interaction, the challenges, because it made me better. You know, it made me much better after I did
Challenges
that.
make you better.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they forge you like, you know, iron in the thing that the furnace that makes it happen, or like how coal turns into a diamond or whatever. Pressure is good sometimes, you know. It's not easy, and sometimes you think, oh, I just can't do this, or I can't take it, or whatever. But if you just push through, those are the people that come on top, you know. Like, what I always respected and watched in a guy like him is that, like I said, he may do a concert during the day. He made, and let me tell you, before the concert, he has to do interviews usually and things like that. After that, he'll go and do a show for maybe 4 hours in a club. And then after that, he might come home, come to the studio, which was home basically, and we're there waiting on him to come in because we got to call ahead of time. He wants to record when he comes in. Get on the
Wow.
phone and get some at 4 o'clock in the morning. It happened many times and everything. And so we're up and everything trying to get it all together, and then you got to hang with him while he's trying to get all that done and get an idea out while it's fresh and everything, no matter how long you've been there. Now that's pressure and that's pushing you to
A
the
lot of
edge,
pressure.
but if you can hang, it really makes you into a whole different person, and that's what I ended up appreciating more than anything, the type of person I became after
After
dealing
you
with
did
it,
it.
you know, yeah.
Well, you just said something about interviews, so I have to say this. I was listening to CNN, and they were sharing, the people that had interviewed him was sharing that that you better have a good memory because he didn't want you bringing no recorders, and I think not even wanted you to take
No,
notes.
you can't take.
No.
Well, I think, and what I hear, because it changes dynamically. I don't know if that was a recent thing or not, but you know, people are always trying to take his words or his content or whatever sometimes, and then some folks try to
Half
take
it, you
yeah.
can't believe everything, yeah.
Yeah, so he, you know, he always has control of his destiny and what's going to be done. You can't take no pictures because he ain't gonna get caught and be on the cover of Inquirer with stubble and jacked up hair and all that. He's
Or
always
audio
gonna,
for the sound bites.
he's
That's
going to
what they
be
said.
dressed to the nines. His sound bites are going to be right because when you do the interview, he's going to control what his image is, and I think
That's
that's a
important.
wonderful
We
thing.
all need to do that.
You've always seen him when he's out, he's sharp. In fact, you know, when we first went to Paisley Park, you know, he relaxed on it, but initially he didn't want any of us wearing jeans. You know, he just didn't like. You know, he was like, you know, he wants you to dress, and you know, we didn't have to dress up in those suits and walk around like that. But he didn't. He had a thing initially about he didn't want his crew to be wearing jeans. You know. So, but he kind of relaxed on that as long as the jeans we were wearing looked, you know, decent and, you know, they weren't all torn. You couldn't walk around there in the torn up stuff and all that. You had to look decent because you're representing him and his whole brand and everything. So I learned a lot from just seeing his mentality of controlling all this and how you look, and when you're out there in public or if somebody comes, you know, they're not just looking for him or at him, they're looking at everything that's around him and surrounding him. The place had to be immaculate, you know, always together, and it was, and you know, these are important things.
Yeah. Well, we're going to wrap it up. So, any final thoughts? And Khalik's going to be doing some things. So follow him and follow me because I'm going to have Khalik back in my studio with some more, and he's going to be having people. Is there you wanted to give some?
Hey,
shout
I want to say what's up to everybody. We're kind of bouncing back and
Yeah,
forth between
Facebook,
some
Blab here.
and all that. So I just want to acknowledge y'all in here and everything. If you came in late and you want to watch the recording, you know, I did put recording. So hopefully, if you know, Blab has been struggling a little bit the last
Better
couple
go
of
to
days.
Facebook to watch the replay.
Well, you know, we don't even know how it is, but it's somewhere. We're gonna see it. I hit record it, and hopefully it'll come up and replay for you. So if you got here late and you want to hear some of this and listen to some of the stories, this is not the only thing. So be on the lookout for me and some of the things we're going to be doing. Like I said, I'm going to have some of my boys come on here and do some stuff too. And in fact, let me see. I may get on here on Blab and keep it
Take
open
some
for
Q&A
and
or
just
something.
talk to a
Okay.
few of you guys.
So you want to send anybody that wants to come from Facebook over on Blab?
Yeah.
He'll be there.
I'm on Blab right now, blab.im. Just look for Khalik-O-Vision, and or it should be on the front page somewhere where you'll see it about prints. And if you want to come in, but you know what I'm going to do as well. Let me close this thing out. You know, if anybody wants to come in to the seat and say something.
Oh, good.
We'll try to get
Blab,
some
we'll
folks
hop
in
it
there on
and
Blab
hopefully
and
hear.
everything.
Yeah.
And
And if anyone has a question or anything that you want to type in on Facebook, feel free to do that. I want to give a quick shout out to Amazing Women Power and Raven International Media and say we're sorry we're supposed to have my 10-year celebration. So this is the 10th year of us being in broadcasting, but we're going to have it next week on Thursday, and the great Alex Mendozian is going to join us because you know you've heard my story that I heard it from him first that the quickest way to become an expert is to interview experts, and so he's going to come join us, and we will celebrate 10 years of being in broadcasting for Raven International Media and Amazing Women of Power next Thursday, and then we'll let you guys know what's coming up, including our red carpet interview secrets event on June 15th.
I didn't even realize half my face was cut off
Yeah.
for this whole interview.
This whole,
on
yeah,
Blab.
on
I'm like,
Blab.
you gotta
Sorry,
move
Blab.
it.
I think I'm stuck. I can't move back anything or everything will fall. But, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up if you want to keep going. For those of you that follow me, I will probably get on Periscope later and play some Prince music. I'm sure everybody is, and talk to you guys. And I'll have Khalik back next week. And I guess I'll let you wrap it up. You going to wrap it up, or are you going to stay on?
No, well, I'm going to stay on because I guess they're going to want to see more than half of my face for the
Yeah.
rest of it.
Okay, and you're going to stay with Facebook too? All right, guys. Well, this is Raven, the talk show Maven. I'm going to let Khalik take it from here. It was great seeing you, and shout out to Dave Hampton and Portia and Tamika, family out there, and Lisa. And, Khalik, anybody you want to give a special shout out to? But you're going to stay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to stay.
Yeah. Hey, Ray, too. I hope reach out to me, man, if you're still on here because I want to talk to you. We're still doing that event, your event. So yeah, I'm on board. So just give me a yell and let me know what the details are. I got your email and I told you that I'd definitely do it. So let me know what's going on. And what's up, everybody on here? Michelle's on here. Okay, Brubaker.
Oh,
Hey.
Michelle Brubaker. Hi,
Hey,
Michelle.
good to see you, Michelle.
Good to see you.
And yeah.
Anybody else I can't see? Good to see you. I know some amazing women.
Travis,
here.
what's up, man? Evans, hey. Yeah, I'm still festa. So yeah, we're going to get on and have a lot of fun, man. So yeah, just hit me up. But I'm down. I got you, bro. Definitely. And we're gonna go ahead and get in there, okay? And let me get back in my seat so the Blab people don't hear a disembodied voice. I'm like, I ain't even on.
They're like, okay, you got half of you. Bye, everyone. Hugs and kisses. I'm going to listen to some more watch some more news and Prince, and we'll be doing some things on our end. Give me my iPad right there, babe. And
Okay, you grab your phone too.
all of you Prince lovers and everyone, just prayers and condolences to Prince's family, and
Here you go.
thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye, baby.
Hey, everybody. Yeah.
I'll leave this water for you just in case you
Okay,
get
I'm
thirsty.
good. Okay, now you can see me. Okay, good. So, I was sitting right on it too. Yeah, I was looking through to see if I still had anything. So, I had my little. I'll turn this way a little bit so you guys can see me. I'm over here now. But yeah, I had my little trinkets here and everything. So I found my little thing that I told you guys here. My little symbol. Like, I still got my symbol. I still got my little symbol here. So that's cool. That's something I'm gonna definitely keep. And I ain't got one of the real deal ones. This was just one little thing. There's some people that have the ones real gold or diamond encrusted and all that and everything. I wasn't one of the lucky ones to get one of the big things, but I'm lucky enough because I have this and it's very personal to me now. You know, I think that I showed you guys already, but yeah, I got my symbol here, and the other thing that he when he was playing in the studio or whatever, got got my little. I don't know if you can see this, but little Prince picks. Got my little Prince guitar picks here. I got to pick the guitar up now. These are going to be more special, and got a couple other things here. Just little trinket stuff that is funny at the time when you're dealing with somebody like that. You don't realize you're gonna you just don't realize that little stuff like this. I had this tucked away in a drawer somewhere, and got other little stuff. We took some pictures and stuff like that. I got to dig all that stuff up. My boy Dave got some great stuff because he, like I said, he basically took Paisley apart and put it right back together. and so he's got behind the scenes stuff of watching it grow. It's important to know now that's like, man, okay, we actually were a part of a historic icon's life, being a part of that. Big deal, it's just a big deal to me. So I appreciated it. I loved all the challenges and all the growth that I got from it. So yeah, it's a bittersweet time right now. But here's the thing. Prince had a great life, because how many of us can say that when they leave out here, I mean, their legacy just carries on where it's affected people forever, He'll go down in the history. He's already in the history books, but it's even more cemented and everything. So dealing with Prince was such an honor for me. I really learned a lot, and it prepared me for other things. I think if I hadn't worked for Prince, I might not have been ready for the Michael Jackson thing. And it's just amazing to know that you've been blessed enough to do this. I've been truly blessed when I look back at it. And here's the thing with me too, y'all. I'm getting older as well too, so none of us are guaranteed any time. I'm not afraid of whenever. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be around a nice long time. I hope so. Hope God has that in my plan, in His plan for me. But if not, or whatever it turns out to be, I've been so blessed. Boy, I've been so blessed, and and that's what I trip on. How lucky have I been? The people that I've had a chance to meet, work with, the things I've been able to do and live my dreams, and beautiful family. Married twice, but both great women in my life. It's like I don't have any horror stories in my life, really. My mother was beautiful, and just even though we started dirt poor and everything, she found a way to empower my mindset to be the person that I am, to believe that if everybody's telling you you're never going to make it, you ain't never going to work with the other person, you ain't never going to get no awards, no Grammys, man, you're corny, you're this, that, and the other, and everything, and to have all that change. Just because you have one person in your life who makes a difference and tells you, don't believe what they say, you can do it. If that's what you want to do and you feel you can do it, if it's really in your heart, go for it and don't listen to nobody and what they say. So I've been lucky to have that, have that support. I've been lucky enough to have God just bless me out of the clear blue sky with people to work with that I wasn't even supposed to be in the room with. I wasn't, or on paper, I wasn't qualified to be with, So, being lucky enough to get chosen to work on We Are the World with Michael Jackson and all those stars was a huge blessing, because I was not chosen originally to be on that project. I was too young, too inexperienced at the studio to be allowed on a project of that big magnitude. But my work ethic got me in the door, because somebody, the head guy that was on there, saw me and knew what I did, knew my dedication. So it was like, we need to have him on here because we can trust him. He'll get it done for us and everything. Doesn't matter whether he's been doing it years and years and years or had all the credentials that some of the other folks out there. This is somebody we can count on. So I'm proud of that part of my personality. That's what got me indoors, and makes me feel proud to know. And I feel more proud because at this point, like I said, I'm older and I want to pass that mentality on. It's not about what you do. Not about your talent. So many talented people that I've met out here, and we know that talent is just, a very, very small part of it, So I consider myself pretty talented, but I don't consider myself any better than anybody else or extraordinary, other than my work ethic, my heart and openness to truly want to get the best result for whoever I'm working with and whatever I'm doing, wanting to do it the best way that I can do it, digging in, and it doesn't always work for everybody, but I'm okay with that as well too. I know that I gave it my best. That's my mentality. I know that I'm not a quitter. So if I get it and you don't like what I do, instead of getting on, oh, they don't know what they're talking about, or, such and such going on there, I'm going to be like, okay, I didn't find it. All right, that's a challenge. I'm going to find it, and I'm going to make you like it in the end, or at least I'm gonna get it better where I like it and feel like, okay, I did my best, I did it, and even if it isn't the right fit in the end, it is what I took it all the way to the wall and didn't hold anything back. So what a huge lesson for me to work with all the different people that I've had a chance to work with to show me that that was the right mentality to have. It put me in the room and it kept me in the room. My friends, the friends that you surround yourself. So I have, a great friend like Dave Hampton all my life now. We, 30 such and such years, we have that same kind of spirit, so we know we can rely on each other. When we can't call anybody else, we can call each other to get over the hump and everything. And a handful of other people in our lives. It's a mentality thing. So more so, don't worry about the next plug-in that you buy, the next piece of hardware gear that you buy. If you're a musician, getting faster in your playing or whatever, all that's cool and that's good, but working on what's going on up here and in here is more important. I used to love working with Herbie Hancock because Herbie was one of those type of guys, and he said, and he passed it on to us because Miles Davis passed it on to him, to have that spirit of adventure and not just getting in, knowing that you don't worry about breaking something. You don't worry about pushing it to the boundaries because it's new or whatever. He used to make us so nervous because he always wanted to install the newest software, the newest operating system updates, the newest computers and everything. And many times they fail, because they were too new and everything. But he wanted to push the boundary. Let's see what it can do. Let's push it to the edge and everything. So I love that mentality. What a great mentality to have. That's how you become pioneers like those people. That's how you change the world. Okay. So yeah, that's all I want to say about that. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up because we've been on here pretty long, but as you can tell, I'm very passionate about this whole thing. So beyond the subject of working, with these greats and everything, I think everybody's great. Sly and the Family Stone had a song back in the day called "Everybody Is a Star," and I truly believe that. And that was one of my favorite songs because that was my dream song. When I heard that song, it would make me feel, you hear them saying everybody is a star, and you feel no matter where you are in your life right now, you can go there if you just keep believing in yourself, pushing it, and surrounding yourself with the right people and everything. It's funny how it takes on a life of its own. You magnetize greater and greater people into your life. Situations start coming and happening in your life. This is what you need. If you're a musician on here and you're watching me right now and you're not where you want to be, don't stop. Talk to yourself. Talk yourself up. I go up and down, even right now, through hard times, because in our business, as a musician, and I still consider myself a musician, the money goes up, goes down. It's feast or famine, up or down. So, I'm very responsible for making whatever I do when things come in and finding a way to get through to the next stage when things dry up. It's very important. But the one thing I never do is get down on myself and think that, I'm worthless or, I can't do anything like that, because I really don't believe that at all. And I don't subscribe to giving that any type of power. It takes your power away when you hear people bringing you down. And so there's enough folks out there lined up to do that right now. Don't do it to yourself. So if I can empower you in your mindset to think beyond where you are now, keep seeing where you want to be, you'll make it. You'll make it. I know you will. I mean, that's really all it takes is the passion. American Idol was going off after 15 years and everything, and who did they bring back? They brought back that guy, what's his name? The Asian guy, I forget his name. I think his last name was Chung. But he had a passion and he had a vision. He enjoyed what he did and everything. So he made himself a legend on one of the biggest shows in the course of history. It wasn't about his talent. It was about his spirit, you know. So, build your spirit. Build your spirit, y'all. Okay? That being said, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed a little bit of this and got a good insight and some good stories. I hope I passed on some good spirit to you so that you can go. And the next prince is out there. You know, if you're not where you want to be, but you know you've got that part in where you can change it, just keep pushing it, you know. And feel free to reach out to me as well too. I love hearing from you guys. You know, I've been here all along, so you know, you can send me the email, you know, kalik@kalikovision.com if you want to reach me or whatever. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get off of here, and I'll catch y'all later. Bye.